Welcome to the Young Achievers Show. Our last episode was an amazing one. Our guest from the last episode won an award. I want to say congratulations to you, Ekeli, wherever you are. Today, our young achiever, he is a chef, an entrepreneur in culinary arts, and a hospitality expert. Welcome, Mr. Emmanuel Dzansi.
Thank you. It's the first time I'm being called a Mr. on set.
Oh. How are you doing today?
I'm good. It's a beautiful day in Accra. I love the weather. It's so beautiful. And I think great is sunshine.
Tell us about yourself.
I am Mawuli Dzansi. I am just a young boy on a culinary adventure to discover West African cuisine and reintroduce it on the plates of diners here in Accra.
Wow, that's amazing. Who and what inspired you to go into culinary arts?
My journey into culinary is unconventional. I like to say it's unconventional because, like I said, I am a young boy on a culinary adventure. I'm on an adventure to discover food and reimagine food. So who inspired me? Not the very traditional, I used to spend so much time in my mother's kitchen. Not the traditional, I went to culinary school. Not the traditional, I trained under a chef. But it's more of just knowing what you want to do and doing.
That's right. Did you receive any maybe discouraging comments from family and friends who chose to be a chef?
Yes, I chose to be a chef. I don't think it's spontaneously. It was well meditated. My parents wanted me to be an engineer. My dad especially, and my mom wanted me to be someone in PR or diplomacy or international relations. So the decision to become a chef was quite a surprise to them. But knowing me, they know I do what I want to do and I do it well.
So can you give us a rundown of your culinary background, how you started out?
So before culinary, I was in education. I used to be an instructor of French in a Cambridge affiliate school. But before the Cambridge affiliate school, I had a project called French the Fun Way with Manuel, where I used to teach kids in public schools, what have you, French from the way I see it. From the way I see it is the best way to learn French and the quickest way is to teach what you learn. So whatever I learned in school, I had to come and practice by teaching young ones the basics.
That's quite good. That's quite good. Are there any misconceptions about being a chef, maybe from out of the world in Ghana here or West Africa?
Well, there are misconceptions. In the chef world, people say it's a masculine-dominated industry,
Okay.
and male chefs are always the best chefs, which is like I don't think it's the thing. We have like powerful female chefs here in Ghana and also in West Africa who are doing amazing things. I think where the challenge comes is the mindset we have to become a chef. People say, you have to go to culinary school, you have to train under a chef, you have to do. But there are so many ways now you can become a chef. When you are very determined and you know what you want to do in the food industry, you learn as much as you can and you go for it. And
what's the difference between being under a culinary chef and going to a chef school?
For me, I didn't have the privilege of going to culinary school.
Okay.
I called YouTube my culinary school. So shortly after COVID hit, it was the turning point for me to decide exactly what I wanted to do. So like I said, I was a language instructor in the Cambridge affiliate school. And I was like, COVID just hit. We are supposed to switch to online learning platforms. And here I was teaching young ones. And the attention span on the computer over Zoom was very short. It didn't make learning and teaching exciting anymore because the kids wanted to hop off the computer and go play in the garden with their family and stuff like that. And so for me, it was becoming less and less interesting, and I wanted to go back to my first love, that was food. So shortly after COVID hit, I told my family I wanted to start a business, and right off, I registered my first catering company.
That's good. I read from your story that you have a philosophy, that is to put more light on West African cuisine and to change boundaries and stereotypes. Can you tell us more about that?
I think you got that from my LinkedIn. Because, yeah, my LinkedIn profile says pushing boundaries, challenging stereotype, and illuminating the brilliance of often overlooked West African cuisine. That is a conscious decision. So when I ventured into food full time after COVID hit, the idea was, yes, I want to be a chef, but what kind of chef do I want to be? Do I want to be the chef cooking food from different parts of the world, or do I want to cook what is traditional to me, what I know eating growing up, and bringing that to the plate of people who may not know that as well? So I think during the time COVID, there was this platform called Clubhouse, where everybody went to talk about food. You hear experts, like everybody was bored during COVID. Let's say, and Clubhouse was the platform where we talked a lot about social issues, things pertaining to us as young individuals. Like you could tell that it was the Gen Z platform, like to have conversations. So I found myself in conversations on Clubhouse that were centered around local food culture, sustainability, African food, African snacks, and how we can have people around the world taste it. And so before then, I then said, okay, if I've left education and I'm in culinary and YouTube is my school and my auntie's kitchen is my test kitchen, what else can I do to learn more about the Ghanaian food I grew up eating? So at the time, there was this NGO here. It's called the Ghana Food Movement. So I volunteered because in French school, we were taught that volunteerism is the best thing to do. And I think one of my teachers at the time said, to get good at a job, start by volunteering, because then you have no, you know you're doing your work out of pure love. And so with this NGO, they was focused on local food culture and sustainability. Their goal is to preserve our West African food culture and also show the world that West African food is hip when it comes to our ingredients, when it comes to our techniques and authenticity in how we present our meals. And so I loved it. So right from there, I knew the niche I wanted to carve for myself in the industry. So for me, it was more of, okay, I want to go into food, but I want to do something West African. I want to promote local food culture. So it was for my catering company, we were working with ingredients like suya, that is yaji, which is like basically a spice that is eaten with like kebabs and other stuff, which is made from groundnut powder and a host of spices here from West Africa. That we were doing mostly for our catering company, which was Manuel's Grill. And then people started asking, oh, your suya is different. Can we have it exported? Like, can we have it like taken outside the country? So my friends would be going out and I have to like make big jars or packets of suya for them to take out. Then we started getting orders to like cook meals for parties, weddings, corporate individuals, basically. And I saw that, oh, there's a gap here. People are very enthusiastic about the local foods. So then I opened a sub-venture of my catering company and I called it Trozafi, which was like my favorite thing to eat in Ghana, Trozafi. So we cooked Trozafi and we sent to offices because then most of the Trozafi sellers are in the corners in Accra and like the office people won't want to go like all the way down to go and buy. So we packaged the Trozafi order and like we send it to you in your office. And we got really great reviews on that. And like for me, that was like a motivation to like just keep pushing. So coming back to my work with the volunteering at the movement, we were like, it was more of, let's make West African food hip and make the young people embrace it and be happy about it. So when it comes to ingredients like food items like jollof, wache, banku, all of those things, my question to myself is, how are we not being authentic with the wache we are eating? How are we not authentic with the jollof we are eating? Are there ingredients we could have used to reduce the carbon footprint by not buying imported products, but using more of our local items here? And that is how I got to discover even this ingredient called fonio, which is an ancient grain that is packed with lots of ingredients and lots of nutrients that is considered a superfood here in Ghana. And it's interesting to know that this ingredient grows in the northern part of Ghana, and it's a big staple there. But you come to the south and no restaurant serves fonio. And so the question is, how can we reintroduce fonio to the plates of the restaurants here? You could see, there are people already pioneering fonio and stuff like that. But then it wasn't like that big. So then I got involved with a restaurant, which is I call my baby. And when I aligned with a brand, I aligned with a brand that pushes local food culture, which embraces sustainability. And this brand was an embodiment of that. They wanted to put local flavors first. They wanted to show the versatility of West African cuisine. I was like, oh, I found home. And this was an experiment. It was a project like full of experiments where we called it the lab, the kitchen lab. So we played with local ingredients and we elevated them onto the plate. So in this restaurant, where you'd find jollof made with rice that is imported, we were using fonio. So we had our fonio jollof. When it comes to wache, we played a bit with like wache. Instead of cooking wache with rice and beans, we played with fonio in making the wache, which was quite different. Initially, people were like, you make wache with fonio. But then the flavors that came to play was interesting and exciting because, for example, our wache was cooked with like coconut oil, black eye beans, cooked in sorghum, the wache leaves, which is also healthy. And then we elevated a bit with like prawns or shrimps and the Nima sauce, which is the tomato-based stew. If you go to Nima, a lot of the Nima market, and you buy like rice from the street of Nima, the stew they give you, it's so flavorful and delicious. People wonder how it's done. There's a whole technique to it that it tastes that way. And if people make it at home, it doesn't even taste like that. So how can we bring that into our restaurants and serve it to the people who come to eat from us?
That's nice. Do you think West Africans, Ghanaians, look down on our cuisine?
I wouldn't say we look down on our cuisine. I think we love our food.
Okay.
You love your kinky and your shuto and your shutolo. I love my banko and fetridechi. I love my tuzafi. But it's just this concept that when we go out to eat in restaurants, it should be fried rice and chicken. It should be a burger. It should be a pizza. It should be something else, because then you don't want to eat what you're eating at home in a restaurant. Yes. You know what I mean? To add a bit of, like poshness to it. But it's also about being proud of what we have and knowing that what we have can be reimagined into so many different things, so many different elements. Take, for example, the percussion we use in cooking locally in our homes. So our mothers use percussion in making abenkwine, that is palm nut soup. And this percussion gives a nice flavor and a nice aroma to the food. It's also used in soups like ebunebuno. You know ebunebuno, the soup made from the cocoyam leaves, the conchome leaves. And percussion is a big flavor, a flavor profile there. But people don't also realize that percussion can be used in like so many exciting ways. For example, if you're baking like a brownie or you're making like a cake at home, you can use percussion to flavor your cakes or your baked goods instead of using vanilla that is imported into the country. And so the kitchen lab was a place for me to play around these ingredients. So we discovered in the kitchen lab that, when you soak percussion in water for a while and it becomes soft, you cut it on the side, you scoop the inside, and you get like this fine paste that you mix with a little water, and that becomes like a very dope flavoring or essence for you to use in your baked goods. And so for us at the time, we used percussion in flavoring all our stuff. So you come in there, we have our percussion chocolate fudge, we have our spiced carrot cakes. We have like so many baked goods that were inspired by local ingredients here in Ghana.
Yeah, speaking of projects, when you started mixing these locally ingredients with other ingredients, what was people's reaction at first?
Interesting. So I worked in an ecosystem where there were bold thinkers.
Okay.
And these people are environmentally conscious. And so whatever menu you do, it has to be healthy, it has to be mindful, it has to be affordable, and it has to also make sense, it has to be tasty. And so I remember when the first time we said, we are going to do jollof fonio. People were like, jollof ni edini a fonio. We made the jollof fonio balls for an event, and surprisingly, people walked up to me and said, that thing you did with the fonio was really good. It was surprising. I was like, yeah, it's really good. If you play with local ingredients, there's so many things you can achieve with that. Now, before that was introduced, prior to that, people who came to our restaurants who tried that for the first time were like, nah, it's not good. I don't like it. But over the time, they started adjusting to it, where like a company would call us to cook for them and they'd be like, put fonio on the menu. put those exciting local things on the menu. We want to give our friends, our clients, our guests an experience of our culture here. And yeah, so indeed, like it's just like change. Change is not easy. Change comes gradually. And so it takes people a while to adjust to things. But once you are persistent and you keep pushing and you explain why it's important to eat our own and why we should eat it, then people have this mind or cultural shift to adjust.
Yes. Again, on Dawa Labs, I saw that you blend music with artwork and food. Like, hey, Ghanaians are not ready for that. We are ready for our food. How did it start out?
That was interesting. So, like, the brains behind that are these phenomenal people. Like, it's a group of three powerful individuals. By powerful, I mean people who are three individuals who are like African forward. They are bold thinkers. They like to disrupt the system. They like to celebrate us as West African and our food and our culture. And I think they found me as the best way to do that because naturally I just like to curate stuff. And I before becoming a lead for that, I think my direct report at the time, my manager, she was an advocate for doing. If you don't know how to do this thing, let's figure out how to do it. And she taught me a whole lot of things. And so leaving me in charge was easy for her because she knew I could do all the things she wanted or the direction in which the company was going. And so back to your question as to curating all of these events, for me, I'm a people person. I'm experiential. You come to my house, I'll serve you water, but I'll infuse it with like something local. Like remember how our mothers in the villages used to have a clay pot over chaff from palm tree, and they smoke it to flavor the coolers. At the time we have like cooler pots where there were no fridges, and like the water goes in there and it's cold and it's served to guests who arrive. Like that's smoky, flavorful water. Why can't we serve that these days? Why do we have to drink from our water dispensers and not flavor them? You know what I mean? So it's me being privileged enough to be given this opportunity to experiment with all these flavors and also create an African experience that welcome our guests from all over the globe. And so for me, hospitality is with the five senses. It should be taste, it should be sight, it should be the ambience with the smell. So like once you enter the space, the art pieces should tell you something about our heritage. The food, the music, it should be Ghanaian, it should be West African. Like it should give you a complete African experience that when you walk in, you know, oh, I'm home. You will feel, you get that ambience and cozy feel there. Yeah.
Okay. From your story again, I read from your story. Apart from being a chef, you are also a cultural creator. You are an expert in hospitality and a PR advocacy. How do you mix all this and still be a chef?
Advocacy is more of like advocating for local food culture and sustainability.
Okay.
PR also stems from my desire to keep learning because like nobody knows it all. Like I said, I'm still on a journey to learn, to discover. And so I remember going to Europe to intern a bit in a PR position. And I remember that whilst doing my internship with the director of the company I was interning at, she taught me a lot of things that we can do in food PR. For example, beverages, how we can market beverages to people, how we can market food. And I realized that in the role I play as a Ghanaian chef that is focused on promoting our local cuisine, PR plays a huge role. Because if you come on my Instagram page or you come on my YouTube or you come on my social media and I keep saying, oh, use precursor in this, use Quintia in that, use Dawa Dawa in this, like, why does this guy keep saying we should do this and that over the years? And for me, that's come through for me in the sense that all the brands I end up even working with know that, oh, this guy, he's like local inclined. And so anything we have to do, it has to be local or it has to be sustainable. And for me, PR in that sense was something to look into. So like my mentor at that time would tell you, oh, PR comes natural to you. You're already doing that. In the sense of hospitality, I think I've been in this industry for a little over 7 years.
That's long.
Yeah, there's a whole story behind it, but a little over 7 years. But professionally, moving into the kitchen full time, I'd say at least around 5 years.
Yeah, and speaking of that again, you learn all these things during the COVID season in Ghana, or do you learn it outside?
Good. So, like the whole story I said was behind it.
Yeah.
So, shortly after junior high school, during junior high school, okay, I'm very entrepreneurial. I like money, Ripiska. And so, I always found things to do to make extra cash to buy my storybooks because I love reading. I had this big trunk of books. My mother would be like, "Oh, we give you money to eat, and all you come home with is storybooks." So in order to let them stop complaining about me not eating and buying books, then I had to find a way to get more money to buy more books so I can eat what I have to eat, which are bananas and brownies anyways. So then, what did we do? I started going to a friend, I think she was the school prefect at the time in school. She was the school prefect at the time in school, and her grandmother used to have like a joint where they made food and drinks. So I was like, "Oh, I'll come and help you. Then you pay me small money." So cooking with them, serving, the art of service, serving people, being hospitable and welcoming people to the space to eat and drink, helped me to form an entrepreneurial background in food. So right from 2013 throughout secondary school, I had a side business of doing those grills and like selling and making my money in return.
So we go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back for the conversation. Welcome back to the show. Yes, conversations with Emmanuel Mawuli has been interesting. He's been talking to us about his culinary art skills, and hey, welcome back. Let's continue. So, Emmanuel, tell us about your project. I'm really dying to hear about it.
Projects. Right now, I'm juggling so many things. So, I went back into full-time consulting. So I'm a kitchen consultant and also a restaurant consultant. Currently, we are building something interesting, something you'd love to hear. So I'm involved with the movement, and we are currently building a food innovation hub here in Accra. This hub seeks to train young individuals in entrepreneurship, hospitality, culinary arts, and interesting things about innovation and food systems here in Ghana. And it's interesting because this is a huge project for us because we just also built our first kitchen here in the country. And it's going to be exciting because then it's for us, it's for West Africans, and it's to push West African food culture globally.
That's nice to hear. Can you give us any three, Ghanaians are watching you, any three tips or let's say ideas for cooking for anyone who cooks?
I always say, what is around you is the best for you. So think local, source local, eat local. Ghana food is heat.
Wow, I love that. Say it once again.
Eat local, source local, and be local. I don't know if I missed it, but yeah, Ghana food is heat. It's hip.
Yeah, before we go, you talk about your project and building culinary school or something of that sort. Yeah, but before that, have you started training some Ghanaians, Ghanaian youths who are interested in what you do?
Yes. So both in my role at the movement, currently building the Food and Innovation Hub, we are currently building like programs that is going to interest the youth. Outside of that, we work with students from culinary schools who want to hone their craft. We're also working with experts who want to be more innovative in their approach to food and also more sustainable. We work across like a wide range of stakeholders who want to see Ghana food on the map and push for it.
Asked a lot of questions. I know you really enjoyed the interview. I'm really glad to have you on our show. But is there any question that we've not asked that you would like to answer?
Ask me what's the best cuisine in the world, and I'll tell you African cuisine.
Why African cuisine?
there's so much more to it than just food. We should explore it, we should be more innovative with it, and we should be open-minded about eating our own food in different ways.
Wow. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
It's been a pleasure.
I wish you all the best in your projects. Hey,
so
I'm rooting for you. I would like to come if the day comes for you to share your projects and call us Ghana News Guide and the Young Achiever Show. Will surely be there to support
It would be such a pleasure to host you and also patrons of your show, and also even your guests on the show, to our dinners for you to experience local food the way we approach it.
Thank you very much. We've come to the end of the show. I know you enjoyed the show just like I did. Keep following us on Ghana News Guide. Yes, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, even on TikTok. Follow Ghana News Guide. Don't miss any episode of the Young Achiever Show with myself, of course, Michaela Ade. Hopefully, see you on another episode. Bye-bye.